Mike Stockton joins us inside the Cardinal Playbook. Welcome, Coach. Big weekend for you at Bellarmine this weekend, winning 3 out of 4. Tell us about your team at Bellarmine.
Well, we really hadn't done much different than we have the first handful of games in the year. We just had a couple of clutch hits. We played great defense. We pitched the ball well. And we had some timely hitting, and that was all the difference.
Yeah, your starting pitching has been great. Could you talk about your starters Saturday and Sunday?
Yeah, we had we shut them out on Sunday. They didn't score a run in 2 ball games,
wow,
which is pretty impressive. But game 1 was David Collins, and he went pitch for pitch with their guy up until the 8th inning. I mean, it was shutout baseball until the 8th inning of game 1. And then we made an error, and that kind of blew the game open. But we were right there to win the first game. And then game 2 was Preston Felgate. And Preston pitched a fabulous game as well. And our offense kind of got clicking a little bit. We scored a run early, which I think relaxed us and then allowed us to have a good rest of the weekend. And then on Sunday, we pushed our game time up 3 hours. We started at 9 a.m. And it was pretty cold out there, but we were trying to get in the games before the weather. They were predicting ice and snow and sleet and rain, so we started early. Yeah. So I mean, we're totally used to that. So we started about 3 hours early, and thank goodness we got the games in because we came out winning both games. So it was great.
Who are your starters on Sunday?
Starters on Sunday, game 1 was Drew Matrician, and he just pitched a fabulous ball game for us. He got into trouble a couple of times. Runners on third with no outs or a runner on third with 1 out, and I mean, he just pitched masterfully to get out of those jams. And then and we gave him some nice run support that game. And then in game 2 on Sunday, Billy Kirkpatrick threw a shutout, and then Blaze Carano picked up the save on game 2 on Sunday.
He got 2 saves, I guess, one on Saturday and one on Sunday. And as a senior, what does he bring to the team?
Oh, he brings a lot of attitude, a lot of energy. He has his quirks about him, but he's fun to be around, and it's hard to be down around the guy. He's got great energy, and he's passionate about the game, and I think that rubs off on the rest of the players, and he's just been awesome for us.
How about Preston Felgate? There's a kid that maybe a lot of people don't recognize. Tell us a little bit about him, if you would. Yeah,
Preston is someone that almost didn't play college baseball coming out of high school. I went and watched him play in the state tournament his senior year, and he was a left fielder and a pitcher and really kind of pitched out of the bullpen a little bit and wasn't quite sure if he wanted to play college baseball. And when I watched him throw in the state tournament, I was like, this is a kid that could really be good.
Right.
You know, he's got a great frame. He was tall and skinny, left-handed, and had some decent velocity. And so I went to work on getting him to want to play college baseball, and it's worked out pretty well for us because he's just been great the last couple of years.
How about Billy Kirkpatrick? Again, another one that we're not maybe real familiar with.
Yeah, Billy's a sophomore, and you know, Billy's just a worker. You don't hear about Billy a lot because he's just not going to say much. But when you watch us practice baseball, it doesn't take long to see who one of the hardest workers is on the team, and it's Billy. He just puts his nose to the grindstone and just starts working. And I think sometimes Billy, he just imposes his will on the hitters. You know, he doesn't have the most dominating stuff, and maybe, you know, the physical tools aren't as what some of our other pitchers are, but I think he gets up on that mound and he just imposes his will on the other team, and it's pretty awesome to watch him perform. And the other thing about Billy is he has an incredible ability to sustain effort. You know, when we're practicing and the pitchers are running or working or conditioning, I mean, this kid is going as hard on the 50th one as he did on the first one. He just has a real uncanny ability to sustain intensity, and I think that definitely translates into the games for him.
You got to love those kind of kids.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about defense, because Brian Razin has been injured, and I guess he has tried to play a couple of times. What's his status right now?
Well, Brian had knee surgery and was cleared to play. He had it back in December and was cleared to play about 10 days ago. And so we put him back in the lineup, and sure enough, after a couple of at-bats, he was sprinting down the line on a ground ball, and it has nothing to do with his knee. He pulled his quad muscle. And so that has set him back a little bit, but we're hopeful that he's going to get into the game today.
Okay.
And then another player that's been injured for us, Jared Patton, he actually got his first at-bats last weekend in Kentucky, and we had him in the DH role, and he did exceptionally well for not having picked up a bat for a long time, being able to swing with a broken wrist.
Yeah,
and he came out immediately and swung the bat well, had a couple of hits, and today he's going to catch for us.
Okay, I was going to ask you if he's played defensively. You have been so excited about the play of your outfield, and could you talk a little bit about those guys?
Yeah, they just continue to do well. Defensively, we're extremely solid. I mean, when the ball's up in the air, you feel great that it's going to get caught, even if it's in the gap or, a shallow Texas leaguer. I mean, those guys are covering a lot of ground out there. They all have strong arms. They're accurate arms. They're kids that anticipate, and they back up bases well. And I mean, they've been good. And then the other thing about our outfield positioning is that we have depth as well. We have Jesse Gray and Sam Thomas. So we have 5 good outfielders that, if something happens at any time, these guys can step in and play for us.
A midweek single game against Northwest Missouri State this weekend. Southern Indiana comes in for a 4-game set. Not long ago, they were the national champions. How good are they this year?
Well, I haven't looked a lot into what they've done. I know they have a winning record, and I know that they swept Drury the first day. Now, I didn't check.
Yeah, they were canceled on the second day.
Yeah, they were canceled, and I believe they were trying to make it up on Monday, and I just haven't looked. But, we're going to take every opponent that we play like they're good, and we want to go into every contest that we're the underdog and, just play hard as we can and worry about us and try not to focus on the opponent. And we feel like if we play our style of baseball, then on the other end we're going to come out where we want to be.
Saturday at noon is the scheduled starting time for the first of the 2 doubleheaders, Saturday and Sunday, both at noon. And it will be your home opener, as it turns out. You haven't had a chance to play at home yet, so let's hope the weather stays dry. It's supposed to be cool in the 40s, but it'll be a good dry day to play, we hope.
Yep, we're definitely excited to be able to play at home. We haven't, not only have we not played a home game, we haven't practiced we haven't practiced on a baseball field yet this year.
No kidding. Wow. Well, I hope you get that in this week, and we hope the games stay as scheduled. You can check our website for updates. Thank you, Mike. I know you've got to go. And coming up next inside the Cardinal Playbook is Dustin Combs, the head softball coach at William Jewell College.
I really love the Hy-Vee Fuel Saver program because there's no limit to what you can buy. I work on Monday nights, so we make sure I pick up a pizza. They're usually a 5 to 15 cent fuel saver. It's an easy discount and an easy meal for the kids. The most I've saved with gas was $2.08 a gallon. When I saw how much it was, I kind of did a little dance up and down. I took a picture, of course, of what I saved, and then I sent it to my husband, who then posted on Facebook that I went back in time and saved money on gas today.
Tanner's is new to Liberty, just south of the Highway 152 and I-35 intersection. They're open Sunday through Tuesday from 11 a.m. until midnight and Wednesday through Saturday from 11 until 1:30 a.m. Come in any day for food specials in the spacious dining area. Happy hour specials are served from 2 spots in the building, and the service is fast and friendly. Tanner's of Liberty, just south of the Highway 152 and I-35 intersection. Back inside the Cardinal Playbook with head softball coach Dustin Combs joining us now. The Cardinals off to a little bit of a slow start, but a split of the doubleheader with Southern Indiana on Monday, a game postponed from Sunday, and a loss of the doubleheader on Saturday against Bellarmine. Tough start. It's not panic time yet, is it?
No, I don't think it's panic time yet, Rick. And with a 36-game conference schedule, you can't get too caught up in how you start. It certainly isn't where we want to be, and we have put ourselves in a little bit of a hole. But this time last year, we were sitting pretty close to where we are right now, and turned things around. So that's the hope. That our girls realize we're not our season can still be salvaged, and if we turn some things around and start doing a better job on the offensive side of the plate, we have a chance to turn it around.
And this is a team that largely consists of the same group that won 32 games last year, the best in school history. You would think that they would have that kind of experience to call on.
Well, yeah, that's the thing too with myself and Coach Bauer's approach to it is we know they can hit. They've proven it at the college level. They've proved it in this conference, and so it's not a case of we don't know what we're working with. We do know what we're working with, and they just have to get some things fixed. And we're hoping today and tomorrow having an opportunity to actually the first 2 days in a row outside I can remember in a long time that we could practice. So
welcome to the weather in Missouri.
Yeah, so to actually have 2 days outside in a row, it gives you an opportunity after playing and then playing again on Thursday, and it's supposed to be a beautiful day. That's where we hope we can catch some momentum and get some routine started in our day, and spring break's a good time for us to turn it around.
Let's break it down a little bit. Is it the offense right now that's giving you the most problems, and the lack of offense, I guess? Well,
our pitching at times has been really good, and a few games that we felt like we should have won that were high scoring. We're pitching, they gave us a chance, but we probably allowed more runs than we need to be allowing. But as far as a day in, day out noticeable lack of production, it's the offensive side of the plate. We've been getting great defense played behind our pitchers. Our pitchers have, like I say, given us a shot to win most games, even in games that we've lost. And then, having 2 hits on Saturday and then only 8 hits yesterday, but finding a way to maximize in those opportunities. We scored all but 1 run yesterday on home runs, and so that's not the type of you can't live and die by the home run, and right now we kind of are.
One of the young players, a new player to your lineup, Kelsey Morgan, has contributed right away, and she had a grand slam home run yesterday against Southern Indiana. Can you talk about her a little bit, where she's from, what she's done,
Sure.
and what you expect her to do?
Well, we expect a lot out of Kelsey. We put her in a situation right here in her freshman year in the middle of the lineup and at third base, a position that she had not really played. She was a middle infielder from Topeka, Kansas. We feel very fortunate that we have her in our program. It's definitely a player that you look at that can really change a game, and being a freshman in her first bases loaded at bat in the conference, she comes up and hits a grand slam and gets us off to a great start in the first game yesterday. What she does offensively is probably equally as matched with her defensive efforts at third base. Just played tremendous at third base. Took a lot of hit. Not that she didn't just make the routine plays, but made some really tough plays on some slappers and balls to her left and balls that were hit really hard at her. And she's given us really more than we could ask for from a freshman. But she's gonna have a great career for us, and this is just the start of what we feel is going to be something really special.
Yeah, talking about defensively, in the second game against Southern Indiana, she had 9 assists in the 21 outs, 9 of them, and was pretty impressive in that game alone.
Yeah, and again, those 9, I can think of maybe 2 or 3 that were routine. Everything else was a tough play, either on a slow roller or a ball to her left that she cut off in the hole and threw on the run, and backhand down the line, and she just every ball hit to her. And it seemed like a lot of those were to end the inning, and the ball was hit that way, and you get in a routine of just standing up knowing the play's going to be made, and we did that a few times with her, and she just the pressure hasn't got to her. We've had her anywhere between 5 and 7 in the lineup, and really she's probably really settled in nicely in that 5 spot.
I want to talk a little bit about the young lady that plays next to her defensively. Eileen Greenwood is a senior. Because you have such a potent lineup, she doesn't often get a chance to hit, but boy, she seems to be rock solid over there at short.
Yeah, and that's what Eileen's done for us for 4 years. She really has battled a labrum surgery. Now she's battling some potential rotator cuff problems. Part of the reason Eileen doesn't hit is because of her injury, and what we've tried to do is just get as maximum effort from her when we need to use her, and we have. She makes every play, and again, she makes the routine plays, but she makes the plays that a lot of look like hits up the middle, or she positions herself so well. And that's one thing that she has, is great instinct. Based on the pitch calling, there was a ball hit yesterday. I thought, what was she doing there? But she had positioned herself. We can just, we let her her instincts take over, and she made some plays and some very good ones.
Another young player defensively, Erin Kramer, moves into your lineup defensively behind the plate. And I think you've said before, she hasn't missed an inning, maybe one inning, throughout the first part of this year.
Yeah.
A sophomore. She's commanding things. She calls her own pitches.
Yeah.
What else do we need to know about her?
Well, yeah, like you said, she's given us such a boost behind the plate. She understands the game really well. She understands our pitching staff very well. She does a great job of pitch calling. And she's taken some balls, foul balls off the bat that have gotten her right in the chest, or off the mask and off the fingers and thighs. And you wouldn't look at her and think, tough girl, but she is.
Right.
And she's just done an outstanding job of doing everything we need from her behind the plate. She's come up in situations offensively and got some big hits for us. And, she really has controlled the running game. She's got a strong arm from behind the plate. Her body allows her to throw in awkward positions that sometimes, you think she doesn't have a throw, and she does.
Right.
She's very versatile, and we've really, it's been a big pickup for us to have Erin come in this way and give us a spark.
I think it was against St. Joseph. They stole a base on her early, and then she threw out the next two runners. They didn't try anymore after that, so that was kind of neat.
Yeah, and it was actually a pitch out. The one they did steal on, it was a pitch out, and she just didn't handle the pitch out very well. And we feel like she can control a running game, and that's something you have to have. Again, if we're going to rely on our defense to make plays off the bat, we also have to rely on someone like Erin's arm to control extra bases.
You have relied on really two young ladies in the circle, Rachel Hayden and Faith Song. Let's talk about Rachel a little bit. She had such a strong outing against Southern Indiana. She gave up a couple of hits early, a run early, but then she ended the game retiring 14 in a row. She's a senior. She's an All-American, the first softball All-American we've had. What does she mean to this club?
Well, it's nice having Rachel Hayden in the program. She has, for 4 years given us a lot in the circle. Has been either a leadoff or a three-hole for us in every single game that she's played for us at William Jewell. She, for what she does offensively, what she's really done for us in the circle has been tremendous. She again, is not a strikeout pitcher. She can strike out hitters, but she just keeps them off balance. And as you said, threw at least 9 ground balls to the third baseman and a few to the second baseman, a couple pop outs. So she keeps hitters off balance. She makes them look silly on some swings, that pitches that are way out of the zone or way off the plate. And she also wants the ball, and she has, again, a player that's battled a little bit of injury through her career, particular in her arm, and we've managed it well, and she's to her senior year and feels as good as she's ever felt and looks as good as she's ever looked.
That's head softball coach Dustin Combs inside the Cardinal Playbook. And yes, next is assistant softball coach Jeff Bauer when we return inside the Cardinal Playbook.
Hi, I'm Rachel Callaghy, Head Connections Specialist with Welcome Opportunities, the Northland's only target marketing firm that specializes in turning the thousands of new residents who move to our area each year into your customers. We are the advertising option that's never turned off, torn up, or tossed out. At least not yet, anyway. So if you're looking for the most cost-effective way to reach prospective customers before your competitors, give me a call today at 816-883-8633 or visit my website at welcomeopportunities.com.
Softball assistant coach Jeff Bauer joins us now inside the Cardinal Playbook. Welcome, Jeff. And it's been kind of a rugged start. Dustin and I talked about this for you guys this year, but eerily similar to how you started last year, and that turned out okay.
Very, very similar. It's always heartbreaking when you lose. The girls are trying as hard as they can, maybe trying a little bit too hard, trying to be last year's team. We're not last year's team at all. We got to come up with our own identity pretty soon, what kind of team we are this year, and once we figure that out, we'll be very good.
Well, that's kind of interesting because last year you were so good, and really the core of this team has not changed. You still got, I think 7 of the 9 defensive players are back. What is different about this team?
Honestly, I think they are last year's team. And with every team, no matter how much change or consistency, there's different teams every year, different season. Everybody matures a little bit more, hitting-wise, fielding-wise. I just think they're trying too hard to be last year's team, and when they need to realize that this is a new team.
Just to go back to last year, you kind of started, as we said, the same way, and that one ended up in a 32-win season, the best in school history. Looking for that to kind of take place here about this time of year?
I'm probably going to give you a little bit different answer. Wins are great. Yeah. Well, we want championships.
Good.
We could have 10 wins. That's fine, but I don't want to win a championship. But obviously more wins are going to help us get in the conference tournament and get us better seeding, and then hopefully that leads into the regional rankings where we can go from there. But if we can get 25 wins, we get 40 wins, I just want to win a championship.
I think that's great. I think we'd all go for that. That's good. You've been with the program for 4 years now. Dustin says that in our previous interview that that in itself has made you valuable because you know what's expected, you know what to expect next. Can you talk about that, about your 4th year here and your role on this team?
Being my 4th year, I think we forgot to mention that I was voted Jewel's softball assistant coach 3 times, best softball assistant coach.
That's good.
For Jewel.
Yeah.
I think that hasn't been mentioned to anyone yet, but that's just
we'll keep it a secret.
That's the coaching staff. My role is do whatever I can to help the girls win, do everything I can to help Coach Combs be prepared and everything he needs to do to coach the game, help work on the field, recruiting, and just do basically everything I can to help the girls win and Coach Combs best position possible.
Well, let's break that down a little bit. Let's talk about coaching at first base. I was a college first base baseball coach. I know it's a unique position. What are the responsibilities for you at first base?
Well, I'm not sure if we have enough time in your broadcast to go through all the responsibilities. Basically, to be on a more serious side, just giving the girls as much, for them knowing the situation, as much information as I can about the situation, whether if the catcher is doing a certain way or if the second baseman looks like she's going to come back and try and pick them off, or where the outfielders are located. Just little things like that, obviously how many outs and just keeping them on track that way.
How about when it comes to recruiting? You mentioned that. What's your role in the recruiting of Jewel softball?
To assist Dustin Combs as much as I can with recruiting, being out as many tournaments as possible, as long as I can get there and within reason and money, but just doing everything I can to find the best athletes and best people for this organization, Jewel softball.
Is there a single physical attribute you look for, such as really fast people like Potvin or powerful hitters like Faith Song?
I wouldn't say a certain attribute. Only attribute would be the competitive side. But obviously, strong arm and quickness. Speed and quickness are 2 different things. You've got to be quick in softball.
Right. Yep.
Not necessarily in home run hitting. What we've recruited is good hitters, and then Coach Combs developed them into home run hitters and solid contact hitters.
Right. Let's talk about the practice aspects. What are you responsible when it comes time for practice?
Outfield, working with the outfield and preparing them to do whatever they need to do in the game to throw the runners out.
Okay.
That's our mentality. We're going to be aggressive. If we're not going to catch it, make it look like we're going to catch it, hold the runners up, and then throw them out when we get a chance.
Well, you've got to be really pleased then, because our outfield is one of the best coverage outfields, with Potvin in left and Barrett in center, and then you can go with a couple different people in right. That sounds like a real talented group.
Yeah, it's a credit to them. They really work hard, despite my lack of coaching. they work hard, and Ashley Barrett has really taken over and just kind of helping coach and everything like that. But they've done a great job of just doing everything that I've asked them to do and Coach Coleman asked them to do, and they just bought in and to our philosophy of we're going to throw you out.
Let's talk about Ashley for a second, because at the end of last year she broke her leg trying to score. You didn't have her for the postseason. What difference did that make to your team?
It adjusted our lineup a little bit, but also we didn't have the leader. We had leadership, but losing Ashley Barrett in that situation that late in the year was tough on everyone, just because it threw a little wrench into our lineup, and also made it a little, I'd say, easier on the defense, because Ashley can either slap or she can hit home runs like she did last week. So we have athletes on our team that, when Ashley went down, we had athletes on our team that stepped up, which is great, and that's also what we look for also.
Has she shown any signs of not being 100%? 'Cause I can't tell any difference.
No, Shay, our trainer, has had to remind me a couple times, because I always forget that she was, out for a while. So Shay reminds me that she hasn't seen live pitching, or she hadn't run for a while. So I can't tell a difference, and that's a credit to Shay and Ashley for working hard and rehab and getting back to normal.
Jeff, 4 years here as an assistant coach, but you have a kind of an NFL background. Can you talk about your career behind the scenes in the NFL?
I was very fortunate to have a job opportunity out of high school. Mike Davidson asked if I would join his equipment staff right out of high school, and I knew that was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So to have that opportunity to work around Marty Schottenheimer being there with the Chiefs in the 90s, and Derek Thomas and Marcus Allen and all those great athletes, and seeing how they prepare for games and practices and what they do, the film study, and that's a big influence on what I do now and what I do recruiting-wise too.
Sure. Not only with the Chiefs, but you also spent some time on the West Coast.
Yep, the Seattle Seahawks with Coach Mike Holmgren, and got to know them when he first went out there. Was looking for younger people, and I was young still, so obviously I took that job as fast as I could take it, and loved it. That's one of the best experiences I ever had, was moving away from home, kind of learning what I needed to do. But being around Coach Holmgren, see how he organized practices and game days, and then also being around great athletes like Matt Hasselbeck and everybody else that was up there, just seeing how they prepare and how much work they put into it, and because this is not just roll out there on Sunday, it's work on Monday, Tuesday, and I've told a lot of our girls how that situation is. They got to prepare, and it's get to game day, everything's good.
You, when you were with Seattle, part of that Super Bowl team that went to Super Bowl, I can't remember what number it was, but against Pittsburgh, right?
Yep.
Yeah, what was that experience like?
It was a great experience, but kind of go back to Jewel softball real quick. I've told the girls that my experience with that Super Bowl 40 team, Seattle Seahawks weren't the best team in the league, but they had the best team chemistry, and they fought hard and great coaching. Our team right now is very similar to that. This year's William Jewell softball team is very similar. We may not be the best in the country, but I would put our team chemistry and our coaching up with anybody in the nation. So we can go on that same run that the Seattle Seahawks did. That Super Bowl experience was one of the best things I've ever been a part of, just seeing the intensity of every play, but also the worst thing I've ever been a part of. One of the worst things I've ever been a part of is losing a Super Bowl, being that close to your dreams, and then just not being able to win. So.
Finally, you've taken over a lot of the promotional duties for Jewel softball this year. You have your KC Fast Pitch Day, which was rained out last week. You've got it rescheduled now. Can you tell people what that's going to be like? And if I recall, what is the date on it?
April 5th is KC Fast Pitch Day. Ringer is working to come back out. They flew in town just for this event, and then it rained, so I felt horrible for them. Sure. But we had a great turnout of people interested and wanted to see the new shoes Ringer has. But it's more of a celebration of, and kind of kick off the spring for the travel ball teams.
Jeff Bauer, the fourth-year head coach, assistant coach. Maybe he wants to be. Maybe it's something we don't realize yet. But the assistant coach for the Cardinal softball team has been our guest. And when we come back inside the Cardinal Playbook, a final word before we sign off. We'll see you in a moment.
I'm Jesse Limekiller, the CEO of Belvoir Winery. You can reach us at www.belvoirwinery.com. We grow Norton, Chamberson, Vignole, and Muscat on the site. We have mature vines, 7 to 10 years of age, behind the buildings, and then we have 2 new vineyards that have just started up. We have a full bar available, and then in addition, a lot of people like to wander around the property. You can take your drinks and wander through the property and see all the things that there are to see on site. My name is Jesse Limekiller, CEO of Belvoir Winery, 110 years in the making.
And that's Inside the Cardinal Playbook for this week. Again, keep in touch with the reschedules and all of that sort of thing for our spring sports on our website, www.jewelcardinals.com. Our thanks to head coaches Mike Stockton, Dustin Combs, and assistant softball coach Jeff Bauer for appearing this week. We'll be back next week with more Inside the Cardinal Playbook.